friend. Welcome back to my kitchen. If YouTube brought you here, welcome. My name is Stacy, and around here I create quick, easy, delicious, affordable meals. Well, today it is all about the zucchini. It is zucchini season, and you can find zucchini everywhere from the farmer's market to your grocery store. Today I have 3 zucchini recipes that you are going to want to try. So what do you say? Let's get to it. Just a few things before we get started. If you need the printable version of these recipes, I will have it in 2 places for you. At the end of the video, I will have a QR code that will take you directly to the website. But if you can't get that QR code to work, no worries. I will also leave it in the description box below. Also below, there will be the timestamps so you can jump to the recipe that you're interested in. So what do you say? Let's get started. It's dinner for 2 tonight, and we are making zucchini boats. If you're only cooking for 1, this is an easy one to split in half. But I do recommend that you make at least 2, just because we have 1 egg here and it can be tough sometimes to divide an egg in half. Let's jump in with our ingredients. We have 2 zucchini here. We have 1/2 pound. This is mild Italian sausage. You can use any beef here. You can use ground chicken, ground turkey. If you wanted to do this meat-free, it could be mushrooms as well. That's also delicious. But you need 1/2 pound. Then we have 2 tablespoons of red pepper and onion and cherry tomatoes, 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, and 1/4 cup. This is Asiago cheese, but you could definitely use Parmesan in here as well. You need a strong flavored cheese though, so Parmesan, Asiago, Romano, any of those would work. Now for our seasonings, we need basil. We have a teaspoon of basil. We have 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper. And we're also going to mince a clove of garlic as well. I'm going to brown the sausage, the peppers and onions, and the garlic clove. So I'm going to head over to the stove and then I'll meet you right back here. Now that we have our sausage and garlic and onion and pepper all sauteed up, I'm just going to set this off to the side just for a second because we don't want it to scramble the egg. Let's talk about the zucchini. We need to make our zucchini boats, and it's super simple. We're just going to take off the stem, and then we're going to slice down long ways, and we're basically going to pretty much removing the seeds here, but I'm going to make it a little bit easier, so I want to just run my knife down the middle just to kind of start it just a little bit. And now we'll just run our spoon right along there. To create our little boat. Alrighty, so our boats are finished. Now, this next step is completely up to you. If you want to take all of this meat, basically, that we took out of the zucchini, you can chop this really finely and add it to our meat mixture if you want to. It is going to make a full zucchini boat because this is basically what we took out. And so we were going to replace this with this, but I don't want to waste this. So I would rather just dice this up into little pieces and throw it into our meat mixture. We have everything diced, and you can see I chopped it up pretty fine. But I have to know in the comment section, would you leave this and just go ahead and toss it? Or even though it makes our mixture a little bit more, would you add the zucchini? Okay, Now we're just going to stir this to kind of get that zucchini evenly distributed, and we'll just toss in our breadcrumbs, our basil, and our salt and pepper. Let's crack our egg. Throw our cheese in there. And finally our tomatoes. Now I have my oven preheating at 400. This is going to bake about 35 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes, depending on how hot your oven cooks. You could also put this in the air fryer if you wanted to. And the air fryer, I would just do it for about 15 minutes. There we go. Make sure that egg is all incorporated in there. If you wanted to keep this keto, instead of the breadcrumbs, you could just swap them out for the crushed pork rinds. Alrighty, I have a parchment lined baking sheet here. And now we just fill these zucchini boats up. Now I am left with about a cup of this mixture. And I don't know about you, but I think that looks like the makings of a great omelet. So I am going to keep this in the refrigerator until tomorrow morning and make an omelet with it. Now here we have our 4 zucchini boats. My oven just dinged, so my oven is ready. And I'm gonna come in with just a little bit of olive oil, and we're just going to drizzle it right on top. And we're going to bake this for 35 to 40 minutes. 30 minutes later, here's what we have. These are hot and bubbly and out of the oven, and I'm just going to come in with just a little bit of Parmesan cheese while they're hot. So we have the Asiago on the inside, a little parm on the outside. What do you think? Will you try this one, friend? This Italian sausage makes it so flavorful. I think that if you're gonna do a ground beef or ground chicken, you may want to add some Italian seasoning, just so you get that same type of flavor that you would from the Italian sausage. But it's delicious. I am so excited to share with you this zucchini chocolate chip muffin recipe. It was a hit, even with the college kids. That's high praise when they think that something a little green in a muffin is good. This zucchini chocolate chip muffin is going to be a new favorite at your house too. I'm sure of it. Now we need to start with some shredded zucchini. This is where it can be tough, because if a recipe calls for a zucchini, what size zucchini, right? This is 1 zucchini, and so is this. Which size do you need? Basically, friend, you need a cup of shredded zucchini. To this, we're gonna add an egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/4 cup of the oil of your choice, avocado oil, vegetable oil, your choice. 2 tablespoons of milk, also of your choice. I have almond milk here, but any milk will work. Then we have 3/4 cup of sugar. And I'm just gonna give this just a quick stir to kind of combine everything. Just an initial stir here. Now we're gonna add 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. If all you have is all-purpose, don't worry. I will give you the measurements for your soda and your baking powder that you will need if you're gonna use the all-purpose. But this is self-rising, so I don't need to add any baking powder or baking soda. We do just need to offset with just a pinch of salt to counteract that 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Alrighty, once we have this semi-combined, we're gonna throw in those chocolate chips. Now I have my oven preheating to 350. There we go. Now I'm just going to add a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Now if you have extremely picky eaters that do not like to see green in anything, you can definitely peel your zucchini. And honestly, I don't think my college boys would have known any different had they not seen the green specks of the zucchini. But my youngest would have eaten it anyway. He loves zucchini. I have a greased muffin pan here, and we are just going to scoop our batter into our muffin tin. This is a 3 tablespoon scoop. And I did go ahead and grease the entire thing. We'll see how many muffins we end up getting out of it. Sometimes we don't get a full dozen. Now this goes into our 350-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. 20 minutes later, here we are. It smells so good. Let's see. You can see they're hot. Golden brown on the bottom, filled with those chocolate chips. I'm just going to come in with a little bit of butter. Just put a little pat of butter on each one. Let it kind of melt over the top. Let's pop this one out right here so we can dive into it. You can see what I mean here about the little green flakes. You can be a little sneaky if you want to and peel that zucchini so those green flakes don't show up as much. But if you're making these for yourself or for grown-ups, you can leave it in there because it is delicious. Light and fluffy and filled with chocolate chips. Perfect for a snack or a great way to start your day. These zucchini fritters can be made gluten-free by using almond flour, or you can just use them with regular flour. The choice is yours. They come together so simple. We're going to saute them on the stovetop in just a little bit of oil. But let's talk about the zucchini. This is 1 large zucchini that I've shredded. Again, about a cup. I said that in the previous recipe that you need, compare the 2 zucchinis and figure out what the large zucchini is. Just know you need about a cup of shredded zucchini. But in this recipe, we have to do something a little different. We have to take out the moisture out of this zucchini. So I'm just going to come in with a paper towel and just press right on top of that zucchini and try to get out as much moisture as possible because we're going to put this in oil. So we don't need any popping. We just want it to be as dry as possible. So you can see just that little bit got a lot of moisture out of there. All right, so once we have that done, let's talk ingredients. I have a tablespoon of onion and a tablespoon of red pepper. That's gonna go right in. Then our spices are parsley, salt, and my Greek seasoning blend. If you're new around here, I like to create my own seasoning blends, and I will leave a link in the description for our healthy seasoning blend recipe video, so that way you'll be able to find that. This is a teaspoon of Greek seasoning, a teaspoon of parsley, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. That will go in. 1/3 of a cup of almond flour, but like I said, if you're not gluten-free, this would be regular all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add a clove of garlic and an egg. And we'll just mix this all together. Now these flavors are all leaning pretty Greek, so I am going to serve it with a little tzatziki sauce. I make this tzatziki sauce on the channel all the time. I'll be sure to link in the description box as well, the link to one of the, I think 3, maybe 4 videos with the tzatziki sauce. But we're just gonna use that as a little dipper. Alrighty, so the first thing I need to do is make sure that our oil is hot enough. So I'm just gonna drop a little bunch of zucchini in there, and it does great. So I'll just come in here. I am gonna kind of form it on the spatula a little bit, and then we'll just slide it into the oil. Now, once these get browned, then we'll flip them and cook them on the other side. Once they're browned on both sides, we'll just take it out and put it on a paper towel lined cookie sheet so that it absorbs all the oil. And now we'll just come in with our next batch. Now that they're all done and crispy, but look, doesn't that look like the perfect sample size right there? I think so. What do you say? Let's try it. But they get super crispy, and you can see that almond flour in there did its job and held them together. A little bit of tzatziki sauce right on top. And I think we have the perfect bite. I was right. It's delicious. Now, I will tell you this. They do lean Greek because we use that Greek seasoning. But if you didn't want to use the tzatziki sauce, this would be fabulous dipped in marinara sauce. That would be good too. Or you can just change out your flavoring with a different seasoning blend if you wanted to do that. But these are so good. You should try them, friend. Whether you do gluten-free with almond flour or with regular flour, I think you'll like it. Well, friend, what did you think? Are you going to try any or all of these recipes? I hope that you do. I think that you'll enjoy them. As promised in the beginning, here is that QR code. Now you can just open this QR code with your camera app, and if you can't get it to work, that's okay. I've got you covered. In the description box will also be a link to the recipes. While you're below, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm here every single week bringing you quick, easy, delicious, affordable meal ideas. And I would love to show up in your feed every single week. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, and then that way YouTube will know that you want to see more of my videos. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a fabulous week, friend. I'll see you soon. Bye.